Nudnik, a real bum.
The bad clowns freak him out.
It's some guy you know. It's some
It's
guy
a
you know.
podcast.
It's some guy you
How about
know.
some guy you
It's
know?
some guy you know. It's
If
some
you
guy
don't
you
know,
It's some guy
then
you
you'll find
know.
out real
It's some
soon.
guy you know.
It's some guy you know. It's some guy you know. It's some guy you know. In it.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where, frankly, I was shocked to discover that there's a brand new Indiana Jones movie I never knew about, and I'm a little bit angry at my co-host for not telling me. But we discuss it 62 seconds at a time in this podcast. I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Gerald Christopher Marcus Porter.
And I'm Professor Mary Christine Elizabeth Joan Porter.
Yeah. So, new Indiana Jones movie. I wasn't expecting this. And there's a few changes. We get the MGM lion to start it off with. I was wondering maybe the lion in the Last Crusade.
Paramount lion. It's the Paramount
right.
lion.
Obviously, the Paramount lion.
Is it one lion or is it two lions, like on the train in Last Crusade?
I think it's the second lion from Last Crusade in that one shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an alternate lion? Like he's a stand-in?
Yeah.
He's not the most important lion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight, playing the role of the MGM lion is...
There you go.
I don't know, Coco or whatever. Scruffy.
They always got to be Coco, Tommy, don't they? Can't you get over
Wonderful
that?
name for any animal. Look at Coco go.
And then we immediately go to produced by Orion Pictures. And this is interesting because they made some famously just terrible pictures like Caddyshack. And then they,
Wait,
also...
Wait. With the lovely strains of Kenny Loggins over space, and what more do you want? How dare you? How dare you?
And then they also very famously passed on Raiders of the Lost Ark because they thought it was too big a budget. So I'm wondering
Well, look, they came back for this one. They're good.
I think this is their attempt to make good.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness.
And I think that Steven Spielberg was kind of giving Paramount the middle finger here. They would not let Harrison Ford have a perm during the filming of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think this is the main reason that he jumped ship. So I'll be curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could have Raiders with the perm. If we could go back and live in that quantum reality where they did let him have the perm, that would have been kind of sweet, because this is looking pretty good here so far.
And glasses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
does he have
absolutely.
glasses? I didn't see the glasses yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what we call like, in the field glasses.
Oh, sure.
Field glasses.
I have to admit that I'm enjoying this so far. I'm only watching this like a minute at a time since it's the new one. Like I don't want to spoil it for
me
myself.
too.
But I am thrown here in the very beginning. Like Harrison Ford's name hasn't even shown up, but we get Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
I mean, is that? It is. It's. I mean, I guess it's like stunt casting or something, or like it's all. It's like they put like some special actor like in a prominent place in the thing. It's almost like, or it's like Marlon Brando gets top billing over Christopher Reeve and Superman. Like Gene Hackman does too.
Sure.
Maybe it's that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Like maybe he's the villain in this or something, but he's the top dog, so he gets top billing. I don't know.
See, I think he could be the villain. I mean, it's especially, Weird Al.
Yeah.
He's not conservative Al.
No, never conservative.
So it's
What's
going
he
to
gonna
be
do next, Al?
Yeah. So I could see that it might be a bad, maybe it's a little bit like Temple of Doom where it's and starring.
Yeah.
But they save that a little bit later.
Right. Yeah.
Well, don't they reserve that for the British actors? When they don't tell all the actors?
Weird Al is actually
Yeah.
British, right? I think he fakes the American accent.
Oh, I think you're right. I think I was like 20 before I found that.
Yeah.
I'd had like every one of his albums. I didn't realize he was British until like I don't know.
I can't argue with
maybe?
Pete. Pete must be right about that.
Yeah.
It's on the Weird Al Wikipedia page or the Weird Al wiki.
Yeah.
The weird key. So
Weird key.
You can actually hear it a little bit. Sometimes he loses the accent a little bit, and it cracks like in the extended part of the video for Fat. He's like when he says, "You ain't fat, you ain't fat." The British cracks through just
That's
a
right.
little bit.
You ain't fought. You ain't fought. I remember
There
that.
you
You ain't fought.
Yeah, you're absolutely
What
right.
are you on about? You ain't nothing.
But there's something a little non-John Williams-y about this. What's happening?
Yeah.
No, this is.
I don't want to say anything.
I'm wondering if
You're right.
Yeah, I wonder if is it possible that maybe I don't know,
think he had a
maybe some
cold.
corners were cut.
No, he must have had a cold when he was directing this one and scoring it. Wasn't feeling up to snuff.
I don't know. You guys complained a lot in some of the Indiana Jones movies we've covered so far that he's a little bit conservative and you repeat a lot of themes. And I think this is him really getting a little edgy. He's trying some new stuff. I think
like John Cage.
Maybe I liked it better when he was just spinning his wheels. I don't know.
He was just ripping off Mahler.
these are some glorious kind of swelling strains here. I think this might be one of his best works. I don't know. Well, we'll have to get a little. I'm also watching it 1 minute at a time, but
It's going to be this kind of movie where Pete just loves every blessed thing in the whole thing, and Gerry and I just struggle to.
I'm gonna go down that dead end road called Hook.
We agreed at the beginning we weren't going to talk about
gloves come off, I guess.
well, then we get UHF appears on the screen, and I wasn't sure. Is that Ululating Hovitos Firebird? That might be the treasure he's seeking. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Or it's also British.
Yeah,
just a British code.
Yeah.
Is it like oof? Like the British always say?
It's
oof.
Under Her Majesty's
finger.
No, I think that this is where they are. This is the exotic locale. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't give the year at the same time. They just say
they didn't give the year.
That
at
comes
the same
later.
Time.
Okay.
We're still guessing on that. Yeah. I mean, the Perm sort of alluded to that. But
they're setting us up for another switcheroo.
Yeah, they're good at that.
I want to like this and I want to be into it, but I'm a little weirded out. I feel funny.
I think this is I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of classic Spielberg. I think he's going back to the well a little bit. He made Last Crusade as kind of an apology for Temple of Doom, and I think maybe this is his apology for Crystal Skull. I think he's going back to what he knows works in Raiders, and this is I don't know. I'm prepared for just a really glorious Spielberg movie here.
I don't know. It's a little on the nose. I don't want to freak out Pete because I know he's into this movie already. But I mean, didn't Orion go out of business in like the early '90s or something?
Well,
like,
it's the
what is
Pan
this? What are we
Am
watching
of
exactly? Like literally, what are we watching? I feel like I went to Blockbuster and my mom said, "Oh, here I got you Star Wars," but she got me like I don't know, Space Losers or something.
No, I just go back to
now you're just throwing your mom under the bus.
You did just throw your mom under the bus. Yeah. No, I just keep thinking of E.T. when Mary is famously reading to little Gertie. She's reading Peter Pan. She says, "Just believe. All you have to do is believe." And I believe.
It is about Hook. It is about Hook for you, isn't it?
I don't like where this is going.
Oh, hey guys! I'm glad you can make it.
Whoa! Hey!
Whoa.
What?
Huh?
What's going on?
Have you guys been here long?
Something's wrong with my.
What?
No. This is
TV's Jonathan Carlisle.
What?
Yeah, it's Jonathan and David's here too.
Hey.
We were going to record for our UHF minute, but
I believe it's pronounced.
you guys are already here, right?
You must mean oof. Why, Jonathan? I think you've got this wrong.
David, are you here?
Oh, I'm definitely here. I'm trying to suss out what's going on.
Yeah, you and me both.
Have you been here the whole time, David?
I just came in a little bit ago. I think there may be a little misunderstanding here. I hear you guys talking about this being a British film.
Yeah, I believe this
I
was filmed at Elstree Studios.
I mean, I'm sorry, Sir Weird Al.
Yeah.
Actually, let me go ahead and just set the ship straight a little bit. This is actually a French production.
Oh.
I did not see that coming.
Oof.
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 Yeah. Oof.
Oof.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I gotta blow my nose here.
I'm on pins and needles.
I am too. I'm not buying it. I'm not sure I'm convinced. Next thing you're going to say is that Imaginary Entertainment is not the proto version of Amblin.
It's not.
What?
Oh, jeez.
What sort of hijinks have we gotten ourselves into?
Yeah, I'm wondering that myself.
I was all excited for a new Indiana Jones movie, and
With a
now
perm.
I just feel funny in my stomach.
Yeah, with the
I
perm.
figured somebody stole Indiana Jones 5, like it was out. And one of you guys stole it. One of those early copies.
Yeah, the rough cuts.
Well, suppose you show us how it's not an Indiana Jones movie.
Well, that's going to be a little bit tough to do. But at least as long as you guys are here. But yeah, we did want to have somebody else here that knew what we were talking about. But I guess you guys are already here, so if you don't mind, we'll just keep going with it. This is the movie UHF. It was 1989. It is Orion, and yes, Orion did go bankrupt shortly thereafter.
They call that the Caddyshack effect, right?
Shortly thereafter, you say.
Yeah. I mean, this. As much as people love this movie, maybe you guys haven't heard of it, but it does star Weird Al. It is a spoof on Indiana Jones. You're going to see a lot of similarities, and you're going to see some things that aren't so similar. But it's gonna be a fun ride. I was doing a lot of comparison.
Whoa! Hold on, Jonathan. Jonathan, I'm sorry. I just need to interrupt. It's Neil Brown here from the Mogwai Minute.
What's going on,
guys? I just got to tell you, I hate this movie. I watched it through the other day. I didn't laugh a single time. Not one laugh, guys. Not one laugh.
Wow.
What does VHF mean anyway?
Egg. It's French for egg.
You think a Brit would have a little more respect for Sir Weird Al.
Well, unless it's a French film, then he's probably justified.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
No, I forgot you're
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm sorry that Neil so rudely interrupted you, Jonathan. You were saying.
How many people are in this room right now?
And how many of them are British?
Yeah.
Wait. Everybody that's here, raise your hand.
Oh, here I am.
I'm here.
All of them or just one?
Good point.
So what is the count on how many people are here?
I think Neil just took a powder. He's gone. He had to run.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, bye, Neil. Thanks for showing up.
If he was ever here.
That's weird that he showed up and he knew what we were talking about, but you guys were already here and you didn't really know.
We're kind of like
anyway.
that.
This
So
whole
who's
thing
Not
is
that
a little
surprising.
weird.
I think
Yeah.
Christy nailed it. Yeah.
Earlier on, Tom, didn't I hear you say something about Coco, the lion?
Yeah, the MGM Lion Coco. I'm sorry, the Paramount Lion Coco.
I don't have that one on my list, but I do have that the MGM Lion. They've had I think 7 or 8 different ones. Started with Slats, and then it went to Jackie, and then Telly and Coffee. So that's pretty close to Coco, I guess.
Coffee.
They had Tanner. They had George.
Oh.
And then they had Leo. Leo is the most recent one. They've always called him, or they've called the MGM Lion Leo the Lion, but it's only been the most recent one. The lion was actually named Leo. He's been going since 1957.
Wow.
No
That's an
way.
old lion.
Yeah.
That's a really old lion. Is that even possible? Who am I to judge?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what the internet says, so it's got to be true.
It's got to be.
I'm a little weirded out that one of them was named Tanner.
Or
Kind
Tannery.
of like
Yeah.
like a hive.
Yeah, that
or
is a little
something.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of getting ahead of the whole game. I don't like that.
Spoilers.
Like having a name corpse.
Oops.
Yeah.
Not nice.
It is interesting you mentioned about Paramount Studios because the one of the art director from Paramount Studios is the one credited for designing the Leo the Lion logo. And that was, get this, his name was Lionel S. Rice.
You could hardly help it.
I do like this Satipo and Barranca we see showing up.
I only see Satipo.
Well, we don't, in UHF, they actually do not get names. They are just officially labeled as Guide 1 and Guide 2. So you can call them whatever you want to, because I don't like those names.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Well, maybe that's actually a Sapido.
Yes, Stupido.
Yeah, the evil twin brother.
Stupido, yeah.
Right.
Stupido.
Stupido.
Well, if this isn't an Indiana Jones movie, could this be Forrestal we're watching with the perm?
Oh, I'm sure.
Forrestal was much better
Brought it
looking.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't be Forrestal.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys do some research on the location? Because you guys were not far off at all.
No, I just guessed.
I
Actually,
do think
No.
it
my
does look
cousin
like
Billy's
Southern
backyard,
California.
Yeah.
They did do most of the shooting of the movie in Tulsa, but they credit these dream sequences as in California. The Vasquez Rocks National Area Park.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Jonathan.
yeah.
It
Oh.
sounded for a moment like you said it was a dream sequence.
Oh,
I'm pretty sensitive
Spoilers.
about those sorts of things. So
Yeah, don't
let's
get her
keep that to
started.
a minimum, shall we?
She's going to go on and on and on about how this is somebody's dream.
I actually was at the Vasquez Rock State Park last weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And if you're anywhere near Los Angeles at all, it's probably, depending on traffic, like 45 minutes to 9.5 hours away.
did you see any guy with a perm walking around?
I did. Yeah, there's a couple of them. It's one of those like vortice places, where they have the vortices, but for guys with perms.
Strangely. All right. So we're not in Tulsa yet, then.
No. This is California / stage.
Presumably Elstree Studios
Right.
in London.
See, it's British.
You have to assume.
Guide. Well, I don't like how they name these guides. I guess in this minute it's not important at all, so maybe we'll bring that up later. But one is guide number 1 and guide number 2. I don't really like that because as we see later on, guide number 1 is the one that a little shady. I'd rather have him be number 2, but
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
plus he's not even guide number 1 is the guy that's in the rear of the pack, so I don't like that either. Because you already have perm guy, and then guide 2, and then guide 1.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I feel like there's something, one of the reasons why I think this could be an Indiana Jones movie is that if they're guide number 1 and guide number 2, that's lazy. That's just lazy. So I recognize that. That's kind of an Indiana Jones hallmark.
Trademark.
Movie hallmark. Yeah, right there. You go, oh, I could see that. Still not convinced.
Seems to me they could have named them, though.
Well, we do have stuff like that in Indiana Jones. We have Fedora, right, for a guy that wears a
Yeah.
hat. Maybe it's just guide number 1.
That's on his name badge.
Yeah.
If you're guide number 2, though, and that's your name badge, you feel bad kind of all day, I would say.
Yeah, you're waiting for the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did want to, being that this is so closely tied to Indiana Jones, I did kind of go back through the Raiders of the Lost Ark beginning and did a little, not necessarily shot for shot, but a little side by side, and it is it's pretty interesting. I always knew this was supposed to be Indiana Jones like, but I never realized how much they copied it. And a super low budget, but they do a pretty good job of just the fact that the first thing you see of our hero is you get hero butt, and then you get guides 1 and 2. And both of the guides face the camera, and our hero butt guide doesn't. So
Yeah.
that pretty much matches the very first minute of Raiders. Also,
I knew about the hero butt, but I didn't know about the frontal view of the guides. So I'll have to go back and look, and then I get to see the hero butt again. So that works out for me.
David, are you still here?
Oh, weird.
Oh.
No.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, no. We lost him?
Oh, dang, he's flatlining.
He is flatlining.
I thought he was being awfully quiet over there.
Yeah.
My apologies.
You all right?
He's alive!
So, as far as Guide 1 and Guide 2, if you play this backwards, they're in the right order.
Oh, good point. Never would have thought of doing such a thing.
What's the little patch that's on Barranca's jacket?
It's like a red hawk.
Got like a little... Yeah.
Well, that's the Jeep line of vehicles, the trail rated Jeep vehicles that are built a little bit more tough that you're supposed to be able to take off road. They have the Red Hawk insignia on the back. It's like the trail rated. So this guy is definitely, I would say, ready to go off roading or be guide number 1. as it were.
So that
sure.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So we could just call him Jeep, I guess, if we're naming these
that's
guys.
better. That's good.
And I'm going to go ahead and call Guide 2 Alfred Molina.
There you go.
Works.
This is as good a name as any.
Can I ask questions? Can I
Yeah,
ask,
absolutely.
Can I ask? So this is 1989, and this is a good deal after Raiders. So what was Weird Al up to in between Raiders and this movie? Is this a height of Weird Al's career?
This was, well, I would say no, because obviously more recently, I would say this is right now in our waking lives, this is his highest point. He's been winning awards and getting a star on the Walk of Fame and all that good stuff. But this was definitely his peak in the way of he was rising in the 80s and doing things, and he's one of those guys who just wants to try different things, and so he had a lot of momentum, I guess, in the 80s, and this was like a branch out. He'd reached into the TV realm a little bit, and actually did some of that in the 90s also, but
well, hadn't he done the Al TV on MTV as early as like 84 or 85?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I confess that I lost track of Al's career right around now, right around 89. So
Actually, Weird Al is one of those guys who's had several renaissances in his career. I mean, obviously, he started, I believe, was it Dr. Demento? Was it that sort of thing?
Yeah, yep. Dr. Demento was.
That, or was that?
I don't.
Okay.
I think he was somehow involved in that. I'm not sure. But then obviously he had Eat It and all that, and then. But what's crazy is I worked in a music store for a while, and when he came out with Amish Paradise, that was on the music store Billboard charts. I'm not exaggerating, for maybe a year and a half straight. Just like the top 50. Yeah. I worked at a Borders in the Amish Paradise, Weird Al, and that was a whole different generation. It was basically sort of almost the kids of, the kids or the younger siblings are the ones who remember him from the 80s. And then, obviously, in the 2000s, he had White and Nerdy.
Yeah.
Which was huge again.
He's always had the ability to get me to like songs that I didn't like. I didn't like the original versions, but then his were awesome.
I was going to say on the flip side of that, his stuff, growing up in my household, things were not strict necessarily, but there was a limit to things we could watch or listen to and everything. And Weird Al was a vehicle into some pop culture stuff that I may not have been allowed to, based on the language in the songs or something like that. But then when Weird Al puts his version out, it's PG, so and it's silly,
right?
So you can still listen to Gangster's Paradise, except it's not Gangster's Paradise.
Right.
That sounds like a great entree into culture that you're not allowed to otherwise have. And there must be other ways to do that besides just Weird Al.
I got to go back and I just it's so that we don't immediately start getting hate mail. I got to say two things. One is that Al was kind of more inspired by Dr. Demento, and Dr. Demento was kind of his... yeah. But we're actually going to see Dr. Demento in a split-second cameo much later on in the film, actually. And the other thing I really needed to say about that is I really miss Borders a lot.
You know what? When I got fired from Borders, and when they closed... I took a picture of myself in front of the store I worked with that was closed, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm Sublime open." So, I'm sorry. It could be a lovely place to shop and listen to music and all that stuff, but they done me wrong. So
not if you work there, yeah.
But I actually know Bermuda Schwartz. So any of you Weird Al fans know Bermuda.
Really? Wow.
Weird Al's drummer. Yeah, I know him. I've known him for, I don't know, about 10 years. He's a great, great guy. And he was explaining, a little bit about Weird Al's career and when they go on tour, and they tour, I mean, quite a bit, actually. Weird Al is busy, so, and he tours all over the world. And he was saying that they'll go out and look into the audience, or maybe do like a sort of a promo meet and greet thing or whatever. And he says it's amazing to see, like 2 and 3 generations, like a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, or a son or whatever, of all people getting into Weird Al at the concerts, because he's had like almost a 40-year career.
I'm sorry, the only thing I heard you say was that Bermuda shorts, and then I just,
You know what? That's all good. That's all you need to know. I know Bermuda.
No, I heard the rest of it, but that's awesome.
We're on the first name basis. No, he's a fantastic guy. And I mean, that's a testament to Weird Al's longevity, which is rare in music.
Do you call him Bermuda, or do you call him Francis, or like?
That's a good question. For about the first 7 years I've known him, I called him Bermuda, and then at some point I was like, oh, maybe I should call him John. I mean, he didn't call me St. Lucia.
Okay.
He always called me Gerry, so I was just like, oh, okay, maybe
So did you call him John?
Yeah. Oh, yes, okay. I do. I call him John.
And he responds to that?
And he does respond to that, yeah.
Is that his name, or you just come up with John and just do it?
No, I just call him John. Yeah, I go, hey, what is name. No, that is his name, and that was it was Bermuda Schwartz,
Mr. Schwartz,
right? Yes, Bermuda Schwartz, which is sort of perfect. Of course, that guy would play drums with Weird Al, and they'd all be together here doing UHF.
That's right.
That's the exact that's the flavor of it. He has a fascinating job, though, because as we were talking about earlier, where they do parodies of these songs, and the songs will run the gamut in terms of genres, and so he has really one of the hardest jobs as a drummer. His job is to imitate, the tones that you would get on any of these records and any of these songs and any of these albums or parodies that you choose from. So he needs to get the appropriate tone for a polka. Now he has to get the appropriate tone for a Snoop Dogg parody. Now he has to get the appropriate tone for like a Blink 182 thing.
And being a musician, I suppose those are different tones.
Just very different tones, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So he is a master at that.
The talented Mr. Schwartz.
Yeah, that's why I've always been impressed with Weird Al, because he, I guess in some ways somebody might say that his career is just riding on the coattails of all these other artists and stuff like that. But the fact that Weird Al and his band, that they have to be able to do all of that different stuff, that they probably can do a lot more stuff than most musicians can do. A lot of musicians are probably, focused and doing one thing or one style of thing, and these guys are doing everything
and doing it well.
That's why one of the hardest, one of the hardest bands to be in would be a wedding band, because you have to play for 3.5 hours and you have to take it through all the emotions of, the ballad and the father-daughter first dance, and then, hey, everybody, get up out of your seats and put down that salmon. It's time let's get this party started.
Red snapper.
So,
we'll say red snapper.
That's true, the red snapper. God, Tommy, I'm just going to take this minute to call you out. I hated that you only served fish at your wedding.
There was a choice of fish or chicken, and you just chose poorly, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? I wasn't treated.
You got your bowl of
well
cereal. You were fine.
Yeah, I wasn't treated well at your wedding. All that was left over was the salmon. Here you go. Shut up.
That's what you get.
So, but that my point is, yes, they do. They have to pretty much play almost every style of music when they play live, and that is almost impossible to do. Fantastic musicians.
Well, does anybody have any notes left on minute one?
Oh, hey. Whoa, this is weird. Hold on a second. Something's coming in.
What's going on?
Something's coming in over the wire. This just in from Tabitha Carlisle. Huh. Is Indiana?
Whoa!
Yeah, Tabitha Carlyle, wife of Jonathan Carlyle.
Who's that?
Is
That was a
Indiana?
surprise to me.
Oh, okay. Is Indiana sneaking through his neighbor's haunted corn maze?
Yeah, did they shoot this in the Indiana cornfields of California?
Just like E.T.
Yes.
They must
Yeah.
have.
Or that weird ET backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I have to say about this minute in particular is this is the first and last time that we see that particular font that the UF is spelled out on the screen in.
Oh.
And they changed the design or the logo for all the marketing stuff and all the trailers and all the box art, poster art. But I really like this font on the screen. So it's kind of
isn't
sad.
that kind of indicative of the Raiders font that they used at the beginning?
Yeah.
And not the font, but the outline, I guess, or something. Because that UHF graphic is different than the other text that they've been using up to this point.
Right, yeah.
Did they
Do you
have
know
to?
why they changed it?
No, I don't think they had to change it. I think on the commentary, Al says that the marketing department just thought up something better or changed directions. I don't think they needed to change it. But what they couldn't do is then go back and spend the money to change the title in the film, so it doesn't match anything else.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sure.
Well, by then Orion was already banged.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie had a $5 million budget, so they didn't really, they kind of did things once, and I don't think they really went back to change anything. Their domestic gross is $60 million, so they barely squeaked by without losing too much money, at least over time anyway. But 1989 was not quite like what's 1984? Is that the big year that everybody talks about?
Yeah.
For movies.
Yeah.
89 was maybe not that big, but still pretty big. Like that was the summer of Batman. It came up against some pretty stiff competition.
I had no idea Batman was so old. Not that that's old, but kind of old. It's kind of old.
Let's see. I did have so the opening weekend for UHF. They were beat by the fourth week of Karate Kid 3. They were beat by the third week of Weekend at Bernie's. And
Oh, man.
Classics.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm sorry. UHF beat the fourth week of Karate Kid 3.
Oh, okay.
A little minor correction there. And UHF did lose to the ninth week of Last Crusade.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ninth week, yeah.
The ninth week.
Well, the Last Crusade had a little bit better music than this. And they had better, jungle sounds. They put a little bit more money towards that, I think.
Well, the music was not by John Williams like you guys had previously thought. But it's funny that they went with John DePrez, so they still found a John out there somewhere. Apparently not. Maybe John Bermuda Schwartz was like, we got to get a John. So.
Obviously.
John DePrez also went on to do the 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, so...
Oh, okay.
Little shout out there to TMNT Minute.
So, Jonathan, what were we doing in 1989? Because you'd mentioned that this movie opened against Batman, or rather, Batman was in, I think, week 5 or something of its release at this point in time. But I distinctly remember going to a birthday party at your house where it was like a Batman-themed birthday party. And we got packs of Topps Batman trading cards.
We didn't watch UHF. We went and watched Batman.
Yeah, what were we doing? I look at the films that were in the theater at this time on this weekend, and I saw several of them, and I didn't even hear about this movie until a little bit later, unfortunately.
Yeah, I reaching into my life vault here. I don't remember exactly when I became aware of Weird Al, and even if I was aware of him at this time, I'm not sure if I knew about this movie. I'm not sure what their marketing was like. And when you're a kid, especially in northern Michigan, like you don't necessarily get everything anyway, so curious if it even came up our way.
Well, do you remember when you saw it?
Oh, boy. I don't know. It definitely was at home, on home video. I do know that there was a family in southern Michigan that lived on a farm. Their name was Wakeman, and we learned a lot of stuff from them. So I guess it's kind of weird to hear that people, just suburb people in northern Michigan, we went out to the farm to actually learn about pop culture. But yeah, that's where we learned all about UHF, and that's where I learned about They Might Be Giants and a lot of crazy stuff that I still hold true to today. So Thank you, Wakemans. What about you, David?
Oh, I have a very distinct memory of watching this for the first time, and I'm hoping to have a guest on in a future minute that introduced me to it. So that's what they call a teaser.
Ooh.
Am I to believe that you guys are going to be hosting the next 618 minutes of this movie?
It might feel
it is, 100, maybe 93 or whatever it is.
Yeah, actually, if somebody's using their calculators, they might have a hard time. We are going to do 95 episodes of the movie because we are doing 62 seconds at a time. If you did 60 seconds at a time, I think it might be like 97 episodes. So we're rounding it down to 95.
You guys got your work cut out for you.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. This has been a crazy time here. I'm not sure exactly how to get out of this room. I think it might have locked behind me, and so we might be stuck in here for a while.
That's one of those. Who is it? Who is the Dr. Fantabulous's caboose?
What?
Dr. Fantasy?
What?
It's one of those. Who was it? Dr. Fantasy and the Magic Caboose.
Yeah.
That's right, from last Crusade.
Also 1989.
Oh.
That type of. There you
So
go.
you're saying we should just drop out the bottom?
Yeah. Yep. I think there's a ready-made hole. Ready? 3, 2, 1.